Excellent. All right. Well, then lastly, what I want to talk to you guys about is Smash Run. So Smash Run is the exclusive Nintendo 3DS mode where you are running around in an arena for 5 minutes. I kind of slammed it for that. I just felt like it's a bit unfocused. It's very close to being good, in my opinion, compared to the other Smash Brothers single-player modes I have played. But it wasn't up to snuff with what I inevitably wanted. I want to know how you guys feel about it. If you disagree, please feel free to disagree. I know Brendan disagrees 100%, so go ahead.
Raising the torch for Smash Run. I'll start off by saying that I do think it's not perfect. It still needs more. That said, I think it's a much higher on my fun scale than you put it on. For the purpose that I like, though, that 5 minutes of running around. I love the attention to detail that arena has with all the different characters. Being able to fight a Dark Knight from Twilight Princess and see him use the same attacks and knock him down till his armor falls off, and it's the same thing where he jumps back, throws the sword at you. I'm like, whoa, I'm back in Twilight Princess for a second. And then like the way the Super Goombas, you can jump on 3 times and just defeat him easily.
And then you look around at the generic area and go, oh no, I'm not. I'm just kidding. No, those are really good.
It took me way too long to learn that Super Goomba trick, by the way.
Yeah, I know. I
sat in there
the little tips and tricks. But yeah, I do think that it should have had like being able to set how long you're in there, or at least set the final matches, because I do agree that like the race to the finish thing can be so unbalanced. But that's the only real final challenge that I have problems with.
300% Smash, I had huge problems with.
I don't know. I love 300% Smash.
What was I collecting stats for? What was the point of that entire
I agree with Jose on that one. That makes no sense.
No, just your turn. What, do you agree, disagree, Smash Run?
The funny thing is, I actually hated Smash Run first, but then I warmed up to it. It was one of those things on the train. It's perfect for like a little bite-sized kind of thing. But yeah, like I said, like you guys said, there's a lot of changes they could have made to it. It almost feels like they just kind of put the mode in, and then we think about it like beyond a couple, just in terms of being able to change different options.
Like duration, for example, 5 minutes.
I mean, because Smash has always been about options. There's like a crazy amount of ways you could do everything, so it felt kind of restrictive. For that franchise.
Got it. Brian, what about you?
So I actually liked Subspace Emissary.
What?
Yeah, a lot of people hated it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was a good way to sort of like teach you basics with characters.
This is true.
It was a good sort of history run. It put you up against a bunch of classic enemies and then weird enemies that you'll never see in any other game because they're just like garbage monsters. But it was also a cool way to shoehorn this sort of fake story into Smash Brothers, and I feel like a lot of that got pulled away for Smash Run. And it's sort of a missed opportunity. It feels very unbalanced, very bloated. It's 5 minutes long, which is unnecessary. What I would have done is I would have killed off the final confrontation match thing that you do, which is sort of arbitrarily thrown in there and arbitrarily decided in terms of like what you're actually doing. I would have killed that entirely, and I would have made it sort of the way classic mode is: the more money you chip in, the better the reward is, or possibly the more time you could spend in there. Yeah. So if I said, you know, like same with Trophy Rush, right? Where if I spend this much money, I can go in there for 1.5 minutes, but if I spend this much, I can go in there for 2 or 3 minutes, right? This Smash Run should have worked the same way. I feel 5 minutes is just way too long. The enemies, like, some of them are cool, but then all of a sudden, like, that car from Earthbound comes in, the purple one, and it just whoops your ass for 5 minutes, and you're in there for 5 minutes just getting beaten around. I feel like the objectives are very unclear. Like, it shows you a bottom screen where other things are happening, but you can't find them or see them. So you go to the map where those events are happening and it points them out, but they're not there because they're happening in their own weird...
Their own dimensions.
Dimensional portal version of... Yeah, so it's sort of there. I'd like to see it get maybe patched with some new options or given a streamlined version or something where I could go in there for 2 minutes and win trophies and prizes and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not wild about it. I'm actually kind of disappointed with it.
Yeah, I think even it's a little telling how from outside it sort of looks like they weren't sure with Smash Run sort of the implementation. Because if you look at like customizing characters, and Brendan brought this up to me specifically, where like you can run off to customize and you can either customize Mii Fighters or the characters themselves, but they don't let you add powers, and powers are an integral part of Smash Run. You can only do that in Smash Run in the customization options there. There's weird things like that that even integration-wise say to me, like, I'm not sure if they were 100% sure this was gonna work the way it was, but regardless of that, it is this close to being super interesting, right? Like, I agree with your point that if at the end it was, hey, Mike got the most rewards, so he won for that reason. Like, it was no final battle, no final whatever. I'm okay with that. Because it is also fun to watch the character improvement. Like, you start out really slow, and then you're flying across the stage and
I
doing
would
all
even like
kinds
to
of
see like
crazy
a
stuff.
final thing, no final battle, just like how many people did you kill, how many stat boosts did you get, how much coins did you get, and that's it.
And being able to interact with the other players in Smash Run would have helped.
Sure, and even having like micro challenges based on that, like being like drop in a Smash Run, see how many enemies you can kill in 5 minutes. If you can kill 50, we'll give you this
Or
trophy.
find a portal, jump into Brian's world, slap him around a few times, then jump out, something like that.
You can try.
You
You can bring that.
I could.
Like, you could send bullet bills to other people's things, but it's kind of impersonal.
Yeah.
I'd rather just be there and actually fight them.
Yeah.
Although it is very personal when it explodes in your face. And
Well,
you
yeah,
die.
and then you
Like,
yell at them.
Jose.
All right, well, there you have it, folks. That's our reviews discussion for Smash Brothers for Nintendo 3DS. What did you think of Smash 3DS? Let us know in the comments. And for more coverage on Smash Brothers and all things Nintendo, keep it right here at IGN.